Hello, friends, and welcome to the newly named podcast that was formerly Nourishing Life with Salima to Nourish You, the contemplative podcast and newsletter, which is all about sharing holistic hacks, insights, and solutions to empower longevity, creativity, and more importantly, peace of mind. And all coming to you from my floating home on the water in Cambridge, England. Your invitation to nourishment this week is learning and discussing men, women, and hormones navigating change and thriving together. In this week's podcast, I'll be talking about powerful lessons in communication with hormone changes and what you and your partner can do to be heard and supported, what you should know and consider about the andropause, practices that you can do individually or together, the importance of the bonding hormone, and my top 5 ways to strengthen relationships. So, welcome. Grab your tea, your coffee, or whatever you have. Make yourself comfortable as we share the next 10 minutes or so together, discussing, quite importantly, relationships with hormone fluctuations. The male and female menopause. So, what instigated this podcast or post was I often try and write from, well, often, mainly I write from my own experience, but I thought this was particularly potent subject after discussing this with some other female friends of mine over the last week or so. And lately, one of the most important lessons that I've learned is the importance of open communication in relationships. I'm not talking about our female relationships and our sisterhood, but I'm talking about in our relationships with people that aren't our friends. So, in our intimate relationships. And especially when it comes to expressing needs and emotions without guilt. And this is one thing that can be particularly challenging with hormone changes, stress, and other life transitions going on around us. Obviously, they all affect how we feel, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And holding it all in only really creates more distance between you and your special person. So, instead of suppressing feelings or fearing judgment, I found that, honest conversations, even though they might be uncomfortable and they might be well out of your comfort zone to have them, they actually can, in fact, build deeper trust and connection. So, a real life example of this for me that I'm going to share with you has been talking about how lower testosterone levels don't just affect libido and how they can mess with your mind too. And I'm saying this because this is a conversation or a series of conversations that me and my partner have had. And he has struggled with mood swings and depression for over 2 decades now, and is now 60, a young 60, I have to say. However, he, nor more importantly, his health professional, has ever questioned or tested if he has or is experiencing the male menopause, also known as andropause. And so, what does that mean? You may or may not have heard that conversation. Obviously, there's a lot of conversations going on around women's hormone health at the moment. But, men have a similar scenario playing out in their 40s, from their 40s, going towards 50 and obviously hitting 60. So, andropause is the gradual decline of testosterone levels in men as they age. And as I said, it typically starts around sort of like 40s or 50s, although everyone is obviously different. It depends on many different factors, and what they may be predisposed to with, or they're predisposed to with underlying health conditions. But unlike menopause in women, which happens more, which can happen more suddenly, and our women's menopause, those symptoms that we can display, obviously get mistaken for other things. But andropause is a very slow process that can lead to symptoms like fatigue, mood swings, low libido, issues with reduced muscle mass, and depression. And reading various research information and discussing this topic together, suddenly the conversation shifted from just me wondering about my own levels to realizing that my partner should probably get tested too. And to me, that's what a real partnership is all about, being able to talk openly about things that matter instead of shutting down and pulling away. Sharing how I feel, whether it's fatigue, the need for space, or a desire for support, has not only strengthened my relationship, it has been difficult at times, I'm not going to lie, but it's also created a safe space where both of us can feel seen, heard, and valued. And true intimacy isn't just about being together, it's about understanding each other fully. Furthermore, it's about learning together how to navigate this change. Testosterone is a hormone we make naturally but declines with age in both women and men. While not every man experiences severe symptoms, lifestyle factors like stress, overwork, poor diet, and lack of exercise can obviously make the effects more noticeable. The good news is healthy habits, hormone testing, and open communication can help manage and support this transition that your partner may or may not be experiencing. Health, hormones, and beyond, the power balance. True health isn't just about diet and exercise. Instead, it's about balance in all aspects of life. Hormones, the body's chemical messengers, basically regulate everything from energy and metabolism to mood and sleep. When they're in sync, you feel vibrant, clear headed, and strong. But when you experience stress, poor sleep quality, and unhealthy habits, all of those things can throw us and them off balance. And as a result, you may experience more fatigue, more brain fog, weight changes, and more emotional ups and downs. Zen practices like meditation, breath work, and mindfulness can help regulate cortisol, the stress hormone, which in excess can lead to anxiety, inflammation, and disrupted sleep. And we're more prone to that inflammation during menopause, during that whole cycle of menopause. So there are various stages, as you may or may not know, which I won't go into here, but this is basically just giving an overview. So just taking a few minutes daily to center yourself can create a ripple effect, promoting clarity, calmness, and better overall health. If you can achieve that, if you can nurture that and nourish yourself that way, then that will obviously have a ripple effect to the space that you're sharing with your partner. The role of relationships in hormonal balance. Equally important during this changing period are relationships, the invisible threads that weave our emotional and physical well-being together. We know from science that strong, meaningful connections release oxytocin, and this is often referred to as the bonding hormone. That in itself can help reduce stress, enhance mood, and also support heart health. Healthy relationships are so crucial because they help us regulate dopamine and serotonin levels, which contribute to overall feelings of happiness and motivation and help us with our intention. Hormonal shifts can impact relationships in profound ways. You may or may not be aware, but here are a couple. For example, when we look at women's hormone fluctuations due to menstrual cycles, pregnancy, or menopause, we know that that can affect our mood, our energy, and our emotional needs. understanding and communicating these shifts with the partner and also pointing them towards information and education can not only build emotional intimacy and patience, but it can help get your relationship back on track. Just as you might be going through something as a woman and trying to navigate those changes, men, as we know, are not always good at communicating their needs. And if they don't understand what is happening to them, they become more likely to shut down. So when we look at men's hormonal changes, especially during midlife, we can see that they often go unnoticed, but they can have a big impact and again can be mistaken for other symptoms. So testosterone levels naturally decline after 30, and by midlife, as I said previously, men can experience increased irritability, lower motivation, as well as changes in libido and also emotional withdrawal. And all of this is referred to as symptoms of andropause or male menopause. So, how can we navigate midlife hormonal changes in us and our relationships? How can we strengthen our relationships to give us the nourishment we need to help us through this transitional time? Well, for many in midlife, hormone fluctuations can also lead to shifts in confidence, mood, and connection with their partners. And this can often create distance in relationships. I've experienced that myself. And sometimes you don't even see or understand what's going on. It's just something that happens very gradually. And especially if this is especially prevalent if emotional changes are misunderstood or ignored. So, here are some ways to nurture relationships during these transitions. Open communication, talking openly about our emotions, what stresses us out, what triggers us, as well as our needs, can help strengthen a relationship, especially when hormones impact mood or energy and energy. Creating a safe space for vulnerability is key. Number two, physical connection. Whether it's intimacy, holding hands, or simply spending quality time together, physical connection boosts oxytocin, reduces stress, and fosters this ability to feel this closeness. Three, shared activities. Engaging in new experiences together, such as travel, hobbies, or even fitness routines, can ignite excitement and strengthen bonds. Exercise, in particular, can help men maintain healthy testosterone levels, and it's something that my partner's been doing. Is he's been upping his weight sessions, his weight training sessions at the gym, and I think that is also important. Number four, mindfulness and emotional awareness. Practicing mindfulness together, such as meditation or deep breathing, can help both partners manage stress as well as hormone fluctuations with more patience and understanding. And partner yoga is really good for that as well. Nutritional and lifestyle support is number five. A diet rich in healthy fats, lean proteins, and micronutrients like zinc and magnesium can help support testosterone levels in men. Meanwhile, reducing alcohol and sugar can stabilize the mood and the energy. And that is obviously a thing for discussion between you and your partner. But it can also be a good entry for discussion. We often find ourselves, me and my partner, or my fiance, should I say, talking about food groups, and he keeps me on track with some things, and I keep him on track with other things. So, again, it's a partnership. At the core of it all, though, health isn't just about what you eat or how much you move. It's about how you live, love, and find peace within. By prioritizing mindfulness, nourishing a body, and cultivating meaningful relationships, and understanding the role that hormones play, you won't just survive, but you'll thrive. Thank you for being here and taking the time to read this post on Substack, listen on the other platforms, and if you're sharing my work with others, that you may feel that it may be a benefit. And I hope that you may benefit in some way from the insights and practices that I provide to help you navigate your personal and life's ever changing landscape. Then I am grateful. Thank you for being here. Nourishing You, as I say, is a contemplative but interesting podcast. And I hope that you'll come back and listen to my next podcast. And if you haven't checked out any of my other posts and this interests you, then yeah, please do take a look. All the podcasts are listed in order. And my mission is just really to empower, to bring information and insights. And I do all of this from drawing on my background of working in the wellness industry for over 2 decades, and from also my academic and scientific experience or in psychology and neuroscience. So if you want to check out more about me and my work, just hit the About page on Substack and you'll see what I've been up to and where I've come from to get to where I am now. Until next time, I wish you well and thank you for listening again.